Shalom. All praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Kodesh. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of GMS, to the true leaders of Israel today, and salutations to all of the Akim who do this work in truth and sincerity, who risking their lives and their freedoms to do so, as well as the scattered Israelites who come looking like the heathen, but are not, by way of their forefathers' seeds or Israelite men. The true name of the Most High is Yahweh, and his son's name is Yahushai, and the Lord's holy chosen people are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as we're the ones who suffer under the curses in the book of Deuteronomy. My name is Akalio, and this video is about this situation right here in Bible prophecy. All right, so you have from Dabu 77, National Guard deployed as riots erupt in California. Mexican BLM clone unleashes color revolution. All right, so let's just watch the video and listen to what he has to say.
This is Dabu 7. We have riots erupting in an LA ICE facility as this Mexican BLM clone has unleashed a color revolution operation in the area, hoping to spark a kind of summer of love that took place during 2020 when BLM was burning everything down. Now that BLM has been kicked to the curb by the Democrats, this new Mexican version of the BLM, this Union del Barrio, whose manifesto is filled with explicit Marxist and communist rhetoric, they have been the group picked by the Democrats to be their useful idiots here to start chaos in the streets. You can see here the LAPD in riot gear, using their non-lethal munitions on the crowd. Hence people dispersing. And this looks to have spilled into today as well, as there have been dozens of people arrested connected with this group. Now, something else that's going on that people need to pay attention to is they are stopping people at the border that are coming into California at checkpoints. They're stopping them at checkpoints and they're asking for papers. Papers, please. Sound familiar? These useful idiots and no one else around seems to understand. Even the people on the sideline with their pom-poms, they're thinking, oh, they're rounding up the illegals. This is just like lockdowns when you had to show essential papers. Americans are getting stopped at checkpoints and asked to show identification. That's the truth. That's the fact. All under the guise of them trying to track down these illegals or these people. So as people sit there sharing some of this stuff, it's actually your rights and freedoms getting stripped right in front of your face, but people are too ignorant to even realize what's going on. Now, remember the mask mandates? Well, Trump has come out and said that masks are no longer allowed at protests. So this is the new thing that they've pushed into motion, and people just got to be smarter and see that a lot of these things at play are designed to strip us all in all of our freedoms and everything else. Join me on the live.
Yeah, something seems off with this entire situation, and it just appears to have come out of seemingly nowhere, right? Just launched as some kind of operation of sorts. So I do understand Dabu's skepticism, and you should have this kind of skepticism because, you know, we're dealing with the devil, and the devil I'm referring to is the so-called white man who are the rulers of this kingdom today, man. All right, and they're the wicked, and the thing about it is that they plan on launching their agenda, and their agenda is their NWO, and at the forefront of that NWO is the mark chip, which is the mark of the beast, and a part of their motto is, or one of their mottos is order ab chaos, which is order out of chaos. So a lot of these situations that we see going about, it is all manufactured and by design and initiated by the wicked elite of Esau Edom, who are the ruling class of the Edomites, the elite bankers. All right, and it says in 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. So we're not ignorant of his devices, man. Yahweh Shemishah has given us eye salve to see right through this devil and his ways and his plans and the techniques of deception that he often applies. All right. But, the situation, regardless of whatever it is, and, as was said in the video, it started yesterday and now it has spilled over into today, which is June 8th, 2025. So, it's just something developing that we'll see. But regardless of all of that, right, let's relate it to Bible prophecy. Firstly, this is a riot that has erupted, as they say. So, in 2nd Ezra chapter 9 and verse 1, it says, "He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before. Then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest." The end of what? The end of the rulership of the so-called white man, who are the biblical Edomites. All right, they're the wicked. And as the scriptures say, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So Esau is their forefather, right? The forefather of the Edomites were the so-called white people, and we are the Israelites. So our kingdom is coming next. But as it says, for like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. So what we're going to be seeing at the end of Esau, Edom's kingdom, is all of these prophecies, man, right? The judgments that are going to be placed upon the world by or from Yahweh Shemishai. Even so, the times also of the highest have plain beginnings in wonder and powerful works, and endings in effects and signs. And we'll be seeing all of these things, man. We're going to be experiencing all types of different things in these final last days. All right. And, the thing about these days is that the scriptures say that these are perilous times. 2 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 1. This know also that in the last days perilous time shall come. So we're heading into some perilous times, man. And this uproar of the people around the world is a sign of the end. Right? And as it says once more, this know also that in the last days perilous time shall come. So we're heading into these perilous times, man, and the signs are all there, right? The scriptures let us know the signs where we'll be seeing the earthquakes of the people. Salakia, the earthquakes around the world in diverse places. The uproars of the people in the world, which are the riots that we see continuously happening in various different places worldwide. And this has been going on for years as well. So, we've been in those, the last days, and it's all just going to escalate over time. All right. And so now, this whole little situation that's going on, I mean, it is what it is, but, it does show the times that we're in. And, it looks like the devil is starting to make another move, because with this popping up and then everything else that's going on, you really can't see what's going on, because Yahushua told us other things that we would see, right? Because in Matthew 24, the disciples asked Yahushua privately, when shall be the end of the world and the sign of thy coming, right? To paraphrase. And Yahushua said, there shall be wars and rumors of wars, nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. So we're seeing the earthquakes, we're seeing uproars of the people around the world, we're hearing of wars and rumors of wars, nation rising against nation, kingdom against kingdom. And then you have all of these different talks about the various pestilences on the scene, right? That are having narratives behind them that are being built up. The C19 is back again as this new variant, and it's spreading globally, worldwide, and the whole bird flu situation, plus whatever else they have mentioned in the past few months. You know what I'm saying? And then also the famine. And then Yahushua said these are the beginning of sorrows. So we're going to be experiencing famine and pestilence and earthquakes. And those are the beginning of sorrows. You see, we're heading into the time that the scriptures talk about called Jacob's trouble. Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. So there's going to come a time, and it's going to be in this time, that Jacob's trouble is going to occur, because it is out of Jacob's trouble that we shall be saved. Out of who? The Israelites, as salvation is only for us. And even of the Israelites, Yahushua is only coming to deliver a remnant, which is referred to as the elect of the nation of Israel, right? So not all of our people Yahushua is going to save when he returns. There is a portion of our people that are going to be destroyed. In Zechariah chapter 13 verse 8, it says 2/3 in that land, right? So 2/3 of our people in America are going to be destroyed, and those are going to be taking the mark of the beast, which is a microchip. They're also ones that heading to the destruction of America and the salvation. Our people are going to be feeling all types of judgments, man. As the scriptures say that the Lord has created spirits, there are spirits created for vengeance, right? Our people are going to be dying of famine, pestilence, the sword from Esau, Edom. All kinds of things are going to be happening. Severe and heavy judgment, right? This is it. Jacob's trouble, all right? A time like never before upon us as a nation. And if you are aware of the history of the Israelites, if you're a new viewer or a new listener, etc., then you know that we have been through some very terrible things, and the famine has ravaged us at certain times. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna get real bad, man. And this whole thing, which I don't even know, some people would call it a psyop or whatever. We'll just see how it all develops. But the situation at hand, it's being a protest, which is an uproar of the people around the world. It's a thing. It's a sign of the end. And then the next thing is that the National Guard has been deployed. Now, I'm pretty sure I saw somewhere that they said like 1,000 National Guard has been deployed regarding the situation. And then also, Dabu did mention something about the whole entering into California, that you have to present your papers or something like that, even for, my understanding is that people out of state that are traveling to California. So maybe if you're in Nevada and you're traveling to California, they're going to ask you for your papers and stuff like this. And so this is even like a kind of soft martial law of sorts. But these things are all coming, man. Okay, and the scriptures speak about it in 2 Ezra chapter 15. And let's start at verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. So people are going to be battling one against another, for all kinds of different types of reasons. You know what I'm saying? All kinds of different types of beliefs, all kinds of different types of social standings, all kinds of things. Okay, they're just going to be going against each other, the people. Okay, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their action shall stand in their power. So this is actually a sedition among men. All right, it is, whether it be orchestrated or not. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of the optics of it all, it is in fact a sedition among men, and it is an uproar of the people. So it does relate to Bible prophecy. And so what's going to happen even further than even this situation here is that there is going to be a sedition among men, as the scriptures say. And what this is saying is that they're not going to care about what their mayors, their presidents, their prime ministers, the police officers, the military, all these kinds of people that are in these positions of power. They're not going to care about them, because things are going to become so bad in the world that people are going to lose everything. People are going to go buck wild, and you can't even relate to certain, or not relate, but look to certain movies such as Bushwick, all right, for an idea of the chaos of it all. There's also the television series Westworld, where I believe it was in maybe the last season or the second to last season, where they showed like, this kind of situation, sedition and chaos in the streets and all kinds of things. and several other movies, man, because that's a part of their method. On the left hand side, they show you what they're going to do before they do it. Okay? A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. So martial law is in fact coming. All right. And right now it appears to be, as I said, some kind of soft martial law where people going into California, you know, are being asked their papers and stuff like that. But obviously martial law, you know, has much more draconian measures to it, but that's why I said it's a soft. All right. Then it says, for because of their pride the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So that famine is going to really draw out people to go out and really, you know, as it says, have no pity upon his neighbor and destroy their houses with the sword. Right? And you know, even here it says, the houses shall be destroyed and men shall be afraid, the city shall be troubled. You know, we're really heading into these very chaotic times, and you know, this kind of situation, we'll see how it builds. You know what I'm saying? But this situation could lead to something. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that it will, I'm just saying that it could. You just have to keep all eyes on this devil, man, because at any time things can really pop off. You know, when you look at the prophecies of Yahweh Shemishai and heading towards their manifestation and looking at what's going on in the world and all the narratives built around all of these things that relate to Bible prophecy, then, you know, truly things can pop off at any moment in time. So that's why stay in the spirit the best that you can, and hope for protection from Yahweh Shemishai. All right. So with that, all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shemishai, Bashim Kodesh. Shalom.